Hey guys, today I'll be breaking down this effect I've used in countless music videos. Here's some examples. For this, I'll be using two clips from the Die Enemies music video with Suna that I shot 2 months ago. He's nice enough to let us use this footage for you guys to follow along, so I'll have this linked in the description down below. So go ahead and lay these two clips out on the timeline. Go right to where the first clip begins and take a screenshot. And then we're going to go ahead and open this up in Photoshop. Alright, now that we're in Photoshop, go ahead and duplicate your layer by hitting Ctrl+J. And then I recommend using the pen tool for any actual client work, but for this, I'm going to use the select subject to save some time. Once you have the outline of your subject, go ahead and hit this button down here to apply a layer mask. Rename this to subject. If we turn off the background, you'll see we just have our subject selected. Now, if you look, we can Ctrl+click on the subject mask. Hide the top layer, go up here to edit, and then there's two options for this. You can either do content aware fill or generative fill. Usually generative fill is going to be better for just making this smoother, but for some reason when you have the outline of a person already selected, it likes to just create a new AI person instead of removing the current person from the background. So for this, I'll use content aware fill. You should get something like this. It's not perfect, but this entire sequence is going to be on the screen for about 12 frames, so it's not a huge deal. Go ahead and merge these bottom two layers. I'll just convert them to a smart object. And this is going to be our background. So now we have the subject and the background separated. Still on the background layer, we're going to go to the pen tool by hitting P. And you see how there's these lines, kind of leading lines in the scene. We're going to cuddle on these, so these are going to be our seams. Now if you see, we've got all of these individual pieces separated. Now save these all as PNGs and let's hop back into Premiere. Now that we're back in Premiere, import all of your PNGs, select them all, right click, speed and duration, and change this value to 10 so that each frame is on the screen for 10 frames. Now go ahead and line these up. Make sure that your subject is on top, that part's super important. And then we're going to slide these over so that they end one frame after the second clip begins. Select all of these PNGs, right click, and replace with After Effects composition. And I'll see you over in After Effects. Alright, now that we're in After Effects, select all of your layers, enable motion blur in 3D with these two little icons right here. Hit P to open the position value, add a keyframe, and drag all of these over to the last slide. Now close these with U, and then we're going to hide every layer except for this bottom ledge. We're going to animate this first. So open position again with P. I'm going to bring it to around -500 on the Z, and then just down a little bit until it's out of frame completely. Close this, show the next layer. We'll actually show these next two layers because we want these to be pretty similar. So select them both, hit P, change the Z to like -1000. And then slide the left wall to the left and the right wall to the right until it's out of frame. Close these with P, show the next layer, which is the door. And then this comes from the top, so we'll just go ahead and bring this up. And then finally for the subject, we'll show that. And because our ledge, doors, and wall all came forward on the Z, we also want to bring this forward as well, to about -820. And then just slide that down on the Y value. Select all of these layers, hit U to open the keyframes, highlight the keyframes, and hit F9 to easy ease these. And inside After Effects, it should still look something like this. Now let's go back into Premiere. Take your dynamic link, hold Alt and left click drag up to duplicate it. On this bottom one, right click and uncheck the enable. And then on the top one, right click, render and replace, and then make sure you choose with alpha. Hit OK. And this is just going to pre-render our comp, which makes it easier to add more effects on top of, and just all around makes your project lag less. When you finally go through at the end and render out your final export in Premiere or Media Encoder, it's going to reference the original resolution of these pre-comps. Now we just have one more step to tie this effect together. Go ahead and add an adjustment layer. Drag it on top of everything we have, and then we can end it like just a few frames after this second clip. Hit Control K to split, delete the rest. Now we're going to want to add a brightness and contrast adjustment to this layer. Go right where the two clips meet each other, back 2 frames, and add a keyframe. Go forward 2 frames, set the value to around 100. And you see it just kind of looks blown out because we're using S-Log footage that hasn't been color graded yet. So just go ahead and bump that contrast up to about 55. And make sure we add keyframes here, and then we keyframe it at 0 to begin. Now forward 3 more frames, hit reset, this little swirly thing here. Just trim that down, and it should look something like this. If you want to spice this up a bit, you can add some sound design like a camera flash or a shutter sound, and layer these on top of each other as the transition occurs to really help tie it together like in the official music video. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content. Until next time, happy editing.